guys, happy Sunday. Welcome to the Global Love Revolution. Today I have a super evolutionary woman from Norway and she is Ann-Peggy Nordberg. Let's welcome her. Woohoo! Yeah,
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Oh, you're welcome because I am been waiting for maybe a month to have this conversation with you, and I know this is a topic that we are so excited about because it actually impacts men and women, right? So what is it about today we're going to talk is emotion. So how can we manage or use our emotion to live a healthy life? So I'm sure a lot of women out there is thinking about, yeah, I've been suppressed my emotion. I don't know how to get it out. And Peggy is going to bring us to this key topic to talk about how we can use our emotion, that can integrate with our thinking element. So, Ann-Peggy, I have this thing that most people tell me, don't show your emotion because emotion is going to affect or impact your logical reasoning. So especially at work, we can't show it because it's going to feel like you are in the weakness. So you're not being reasoning. So what's your thought on that, Ann-Peggy?
Yeah, I also lived that life.
Ooh.
And it hit me because I was an expert of depressing my emotion. And at the same time, when I depressed my emotion, I actually depressed my power, my strength, because we are supposed to not show in the face and be like the masculine side.
Yes.
But when the feminine, like our emotion, actually is the power from our authentic self. And when you are at work, sometimes you can't just rush into tears, of course. It depends of your work. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, this is a human, naturally thing. All of us are human, and our gift are our emotion. So I think it's actually a shame, or it's like a sadness that we hold back our emotion. And in 2013, 2014, from December, January, I had a breakdown. I almost died because there have been a lot of challenges in my life. And one of the main factor was that I had suppressed my emotion so much that my heart starts to, for 2 months, it was going very fast and uncontrollable. And the doctor said, well, we can stop it and start it again, but you have to do something about your life situation. Oh. And I am a Gestalt therapist and have worked with a lot of humans with trauma and traumatic things. Mm-hmm. But I had to go to the deepest level. I hadn't been to the deepest level of my own emotion. And my limit, my biggest limit, was actually from my mother's delivery of me. Oh, wow. She used 4 days to deliver me. And the delivery stopped. So the last day, the 4th day, I actually, as a fetus inside her womb, started to go to a death process, because we speak a lot about the birth as a big process for the mother, but actually it's a big process for the child as well. So I started to prepare myself to not making it. I can't pass through, and I hardly made it. It was seconds, and the doctor said we won't know, but since I was a girl are stronger that way, so it's not to discriminate boys, but girls are stronger that way. And also I had a heart defect, so it was critically for some weeks, and when I was very small. So, and I also get emotional pattern and stops limited from my mother's delivery. And often we don't think about this because we don't remember it. And I'm a regression therapist also. So when another regression therapist that I work with took the regression on me and the emotional freedom technique, and I went through it, it was wow. So it actually blocked most of my power. And the new science also show that when we are in our mother's womb, the emotional state of our mother directly affect us, the fetus. So if the mother is stressed, if she worried, it can be a lot of things, that maybe something's wrong with my baby or something else. So the emotional state of the mother will directly affect the child, because we have heard that you have to eat correct, you have to exercise, a lot of things to do, but actually the emotional state also influence the baby direct. So, and my mother was kind of stressed when she had me, also during the pregnancy. So this has also given me my program, because it's the program of us starts already in the womb. So in the womb it starts, and delivery and the first year. Most people say that from the womb until 6-7 years, our program is the essence is programmed, and it's both the thinking and the emotion, and then we repeat it over and over and over again. And if we have had a stressful life when we're very small, we probably will have it in our system, and then we later will get sick, or the body will give us some hurting. Like my hurting was my back. I have 5 prolapse, or what you call, my back. So my body start to talk to me big time when I go to puberty. And this, we see a lot of children, when they come to puberty, their body starts to talk to them in another language, because the hormone comes. And so my period was very hard when it came, when I was 12, 13 years. And also my back started to ache a lot. So, and I didn't know that this was related to my emotional experience during my childhood, because my parents were stressed because they got a sick baby. And if you have a sick baby, you are kind of stressed. You want your child to survive. So you go in a kind of surviving mode. So, and we haven't talked so much about that this directly affect our children later. And when the health starts to not being so good later on, we see that, well, it actually started maybe in the mother's womb.
So Ann-Peggy, okay, this is a very interesting, it seems like you just lay out a process, right? Emotion really started in your mom womb, right? Before even like you actually develop as a human, you are there, you know, you can feel inside your mom when you can actually feel what her feeling.
Yep.
So all the way until now, and you are using the body as a way to communicate, to sending you a message, knowing that there is something that need to clear out. You know, like your situation about you having a heart attack, your body's out of the air all the time, and then you also see your kids that surround you having a same issue. So all the situation that happen around you that actually bring you to the state of knowing emotion is so key, right? And then it's related to every aspect of your life. So I'm curious, Ann-Peggy, did you have a conversation with your parents about this?
No, I didn't, because my parents don't know the language of the emotion. Because in the 1970s, this wasn't common. We are like Vikings, you know. And Vikings,
yes,
in action. So the emotional level, no, we don't know that.
Okay.
So they haven't learned this from their parents. They couldn't do it to me. So they actually depress my emotion, even though they didn't do it on purpose. Because when I started to get well around 2 years, I had a lot of emotion. I was an active child. I was sensitive and active. and this can be challenging for parents. I have one my own. I have 5 children, and one of them is very energetic and have a lot of power. So this was challenging for my parents too. So they said, stop. So they stopped me a lot. So I learned, because when you're a child, you need to connect. You need connect with your caregivers. So I have to hold back in order to connect with my mother and father. So I started to depress my authentic self, my emotion, because to connect was more important. If a child don't connect, it dies eventually. So I had to start stopping myself for being authentic and having my emotions. So I become a program, the program that I experienced from my early age, from my head. So this wasn't the intention from my parents. It was just the way it was. And also what we taught these days in 1970 was that the first years of the baby's life, no baby will remember. So some baby actually get operated without, what do you call it, anesthesia?
Oh, anesthesia.
Anesthesia. So because, well, the baby won't remember it anyhow. So this was the common thinking that days. So the emotion, no, we don't need to, we have to depress the emotion, and we don't understand. And also the emotion is so slow, and it takes time, because we want to be from our head, who is super fast. We know that our thought can be phew, and our emotion takes time, and it's a process. And the emotion and our body is our subconscious. It's like our program, and the mind is the conscious. And so the emotion and our body actually tells us what's in our program, what's in our, like a computer. We have a computer inside us, and this program can be good or bad. And if we have learned to depress our emotion, our program is kind of not so good.
Wow. So
because then you have to go through the process and taking it back, the power back.
Wow. So Ann-Peggy, it sounded like you don't have a role model, but you as a mom and as a woman, right, yourself, you aware of all this tough situation that happened to you and affect your health. And what are the practice, or what are the way that you help yourself to become aware of and become an expert in emotion? And then you teach it to your kids. Do you have any, like maybe 3 different tools that you can share with the audience, and how you handle that?
Yeah. First of all, I have to say that I didn't have the tools when I delivered my children in the beginning, because I have
okay.
children, and I really should wish that I had these tools, because I didn't. So I see that some of the patterns that because I was stressed, I hadn't worked on my stress level, I gave to my children. I love them enormous, but at the same time, since I also was stressed, and my 2 oldest kids also were very sick, had cancer and colic, so we were a lot in the hospital. So it was almost like me, a lot in the hospital. So for almost 5 years, I didn't sleep, because they were so much sick. It was home and to the hospital all the time. So I wish I had the instrument and the tools I had today, but I didn't have when my 4 kids were small, because first I had 4, and then after a while the last one came. So when I started to take my education, I was like a social worker and then a Gestalt therapist, and I work with patient and customer. And I felt that I couldn't get deep enough, because I like to go very deep. So then I started to take education in EFT, emotional freedom technique, and regression therapist. So, and when I did this, I also did it on myself, because I like to do everything on myself, what I do on the people I work with. So, and then I came to the deeper layer, and I was through my mother's delivery. Because I remember when I started, well, no one can remember when they are born, but we can. If we go to regression and if we go to EFT, we actually can. And our body remember everything. Our body and the emotion, it's in our system. So the body always mirroring what we have experienced from our mother's womb. So the first key is actually to use EFT, emotional freedom technique, also called tapping. A lot of people have heard about this. So I used this for 1 year, and then I really get to every situation and everything I have been through. It was like a new layer, and it wasn't easy because it was a lot of pain. All the pain I had as a child came through also during this delivery. So I get headache, I bleed from my nose, I was paralyzed, I couldn't go. So a lot of things came back from my teenage time and my early childhood. But this is the best gift I've gotten, because when I went through it, it's like another layer of power, and I can use my emotion to guide me, because my emotion was so tied to the bad things and the hard things, so I couldn't use them as my guiding system. Today I use my emotion as my guiding system, because they aren't depressed, they aren't connecting to the subconscious that I don't have any control of. So I have done something with my programming.
Wow.
So and also the key also in EFT is that if you get triggered, if the life mirrors something to you, all your trigger is about your subconscious. So we have a tendency to say, wow, you hurt me because you are triggered. But actually, if someone is hurting you, say, yes, you hurted me. I want to cry. This is hurtful, because this your subconscious wounds that comes up to the surface, and then you can do something about it.
So every time that's exciting. Actually, I would like this. Can you do an example? Like show us an example. Let's try. Let's help the audience to learn a little bit simple technique about the EFT. Can you maybe give us example and help us to learn the tapping?
That will take a long time, but I can show you.
Maybe just a simple way. Yeah, I think I like use the example about like someone hurting you.
Tapping, I will take the easiest way, and I use four different places. This is one.
Okay.
You use two of your fingers. And
okay. Just tap in the middle. Okay. Your midpoint.
And next to the eye.
Okay, next to the eyes.
Under the eye.
Under the eye.
And next to the bone here.
Okay, so your collarbone, right?
Yeah.
Collarbone. Okay.
You can use both sides.
Both sides, okay.
And the most common pattern that often stops us is to be rejected. We don't want to be rejected because we want to be liked and approved. So if we feel that, if our employer said that reject us, we go in this bad pattern.
Yeah.
So if you use tapping and said, even though I feel rejected, if this has happened, even though I feel rejected,
even though I feel rejected, okay,
I accept my emotion and myself.
So when you tap, did you say in a positive statement or negative, or you just you say to accept that feeling?
I say to accept. So you accept yourself, even though you feel this hard thing.
Ah, okay.
So you can do it yourself, but when I did it, someone did it to me, because in the beginning, when I hadn't go to this layer, I couldn't do it myself. But after I had done it, someone helped me 1 year to go to this delivery. I couldn't do that myself.
Okay.
So
wow.
The best way is to have a emotional freedom technique therapist to help you.
Okay.
Because actually yesterday I was one person who wanted to not live anymore, And his mother called me, was very worried, and I went and I used this tapping because he had disconnected from his emotion. So it's a very good technique because someone just lived from the mental programming. As my oldest son. My oldest son committed suicide when he was 22. And he lived from here, and his emotional, he had lived with an emotional body, that the pain body, for all his life. And in the next recording, we will talk about this pain body and the message behind the pain body, because this is also a big topic.
Wow, I love it. Yes.
Yeah, so I won't go into that, but that was a very hard lesson in my life. And I have just gone through it myself. My oldest son chose to do this after his girlfriend quit their relationship. So, and this was so hard, and he just said, well, no, I have this pain body, and now my girlfriend also quit, so I don't want to live anymore.
So guys, okay, you have received one important tools that you can use to manage your emotion, which is the EFT. So if you want to learn a simple technique, you can connect with Ann-Peggy, and we're going to give you her information, contact information below the video. Now, Ann-Peggy, tell us a little bit about, you know, how we should, you know, beside the EFT technique you share with us, is there another way that we can incorporate in our life, like when we have the negative emotions show up, what would be the tool that we can, you know, use it right away? I know it sounds weird when you tap it on the public, but is there another way we can use it?
You can also use your fingers and take it behind you, because we have, all the fingers have the same trigger point. So we can use all this also.
Okay, so we just press it. You know, when we feel it, negative emotion, we just press our fingers. But guys, also, you see, this is so simple. You know, emotional part of it is hard when we see it, but you have to use something. You know, use your body. I think use your body as a key tool to help you to express the authentic of you. So,
and the second thing you point out, because the authentic, be as authentic as possible, because you said, how can you do if the emotion comes? I also would encourage to just let the emotion come. If you cry, so what? We are human beings. And the emotion is a part of us. So let the emotion, let people see the emotion, because we have to learn from each other. And maybe when you cry, you trigger my emotion, you trigger the same, because you're very similar. So when you do your work, it will inspire me to do my work. And the authentic self, try to be as authentic as possible, because we are so used to putting white lies, because it's supposed to be on certain ways. But white lies actually affect our health. It's not good for our health. So being as authentic as possible will be a very good thing, and it also will help us to be in a healthy place. I don't know if you have heard about the film that was released 2017, this Heal.
Yes, I heard about it. Yes.
And it's nine factors that goes again and again and again to be a healthy person. And from these nine factors, 7 of them are directly linked to our emotion and the mental mind. So we can do something with our mental mind and emotion and be as authentic as possible. People who get cancer in the last stage, they know that if they are not living as authentic as possible, they have no way to get well. So try to be as authentic as possible. Maybe it's difficult because of your children and your husband, because they said, well, they can't handle it. But actually, this is direct link to your health.
I love it. Yeah, that's beautiful. So guys, you know, one way to really bring your authentic self and live a healthy, happy life is to really let your emotion comes out, you know, and there's a way for you to manage, as we already shared with you that two important tools that you can use right away and learn from Ann-Peggy. If you have any question, call her. All right. right, Ann-Peggy, you know, like let's come. I'm really, you know, we can actually talk about this all year round. But let's come to this. What will be the last nugget for audience talking about emotion?
I said something about it earlier because our programming, it's like it going on repeat, repeat, repeat. So actually to change some routines, because our emotional state and mental state, it goes on routines. We do the same every day. And that means that we put ourselves in the same state every day. And if this state is good, it's fine, perfect. Then you have a healthy life. But if this emotional and mental state is not so good, you have a lot of worry and stress, then try to change this. And the easiest way to change it is to meditate. You have heard a lot about meditating. So because then you lower your frequency and you can actually do something. And to visualize is good. Visualize what you want and have your emotion with, because visualizing is one part, but emotion, take the emotion and really feel it. Feel the fantastic health you like and live as your dream life, as your health is perfect. So do it before your health is good. Visualize it and feel it. Really feel it with your emotion and hold your system.
That's great. Well, Ann-Peggy, you're so passionate about this topic. What are you currently working on? What would you like to share with the world?
Oh, currently I am working with a book. I am writing a book, Far From Home. And this actually tells a lot about emotion, and it takes my son's life and how we can work to see our emotion as a strength. And it will also go in the depth of being sensitive, because all my 5 children are very sensitive, as I am, and often we see this as something hard, but it can actually be a gift. So to understand that sensitivity is a gift and how we can meet people with on another level, not just medicate it away, because it's actually a fantastic gift we have.
Wow. All right, guys, I'm looking forward to your book, Far From Home. This is a great, I think your experience in your life is so rich and with your children, and I'm sure all of us can benefit through reading about your story. So thank you, Ann-Peggy, you know, keep going and finish the book. We want to get it. Well, lastly, Ann-Peggy, tell us, how do you define evolution women?
We don't have no limits. We just, we
just
use
keep going.
No limits, just fly wherever we want and think new. Don't look at the past and say, well, we have done this, we have done this. That's the past. No, we are going in a new area, and the emotions are so important to have this fuel with us. And yes, we have come so far, and we have to use it wisely.
Ooh, wow. Did you guys get it? So being a limitless, you know, if you want to become a super evolutionary woman, that's the tips for you today. All right. Thank you, Ann-Peggy, for joining us and playing with us. I have learned so much about emotion. So today I'm going to use the 2 tips and then manage my emotion and let it fly. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, love yourself, love others, and do something that matters to the world. Together, we can create this global love revolution. Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.